Okay, so with that, Joachim, I will start with the first questions. And I also say to your viewers that if you have questions, you can write them. There is a small icon that looks like a speaking bubble, a pratbubbla in Swedish, where you can write your questions, and we will read them, and we will let Joachim answer. But first question, of course, there's a terrible pandemic going on, and India, where you have a substantial business interest, is also affected. They recently said that the national lockdown is going to continue until the 31st of May. How much of a problem is that for you and for your strategy in India?
I think the longer they delay, I think this is the fourth time they delayed it. That's we are talking to our Indian partners, but I think everybody has to realize that they are sort of working from home. Everybody, they are allowed to go out 3 times a week to buy groceries. All offices are closed. And obviously that's not an ideal situation for launching new products and having pilots in the market or whatever. So they are telling us that there is an interest in our products, but right now I think our priorities is a little bit in the firefighting mode. We have to take care of our employees. We have to take care of our customers. We are interested in your solution, but right now we can't just go immediately to pilots and integrations with you. So that we have a delay. I think that is clear. And anything else I think would be strange. But what I'm happy about is that all the discussions are still live and that they don't go cold in any way. We are talking to these key people that we are have met, and so it's progressing, but with delay in terms of rollout. I think that's what I see.
Is it possible at this point to say any timeline? How much delay do you think you're going to get eventually?
I would think sort of that this is causing us like a 3 months delay. I would think that is things that we had. Some of them are telling us that if they were not for COVID-19, we would have been out in pilots now. But now came COVID-19, other priorities, and that means delay. So I would estimate 3 months. And in some sense, it's not so much of a problem for us. I don't know. You're aware that we have Blipit that we developed last year. We were ready to go with that, but for the Indian market, we have come with a much broader portfolio. We have also the software link locally, where we don't need an app terminal. It's just a software link that was launched in January, and we've been working hard to release that. And we are talking about what we are calling our offline solution, that either one or both parties of the payer and payee are not connected to the online. That is of huge interest in India, and we are in preparation for that solution also. So in some sense, I don't think we have lost that much time. I think we could have been out with Blipit if Corona hadn't hit us. But for the long tail of India, where most of the merchants are, I think we are not really in a delay anyway, because we need that time to put our solutions together.
And I noticed a small sentence in your brand new report that you expect to have an integration with a payment provider in India during Q1. So Q1, that is now. So that must mean that you're very close to
Q2. I think we must have said Q2.
Q2, yes, yeah. Sorry.
Yeah.
In Q2 you said, which is now, when we're halfway through it already. So that must mean that you're very close to it.
We are close. Yeah, we are very close. Then that was when we released that. That was before they added the fourth delay of the COVID-19, because I think the plan was that everybody would come out of their quarantine by May 17th. Now it's another 2 weeks, so this sort of pushes for us as well, because I think there is difficulty to do things, but we are very close in our discussions with some of them, and I still have hopes that we could sort of maybe do it already in Q2. But the more COVID-19 are pushing it forward, the more difficult that would make it, because I think it is, as everybody can understand, just talking to people working from home, all over India. I think it's not ideal situation to run integration projects with. Yeah,
I understand. If we look for a minute on how you're going to monetize the business in India, as you said in the film that we saw this morning, the Indian government has put very strict demands on payment providers that they not charge anything for merchants for using the UPI service or the mobile payment service. Yet you expect to be able to get paid for the extra functionality that you offer. How is that going to work? Who is going to pay you?
Yeah. I think it's great that the Indian government is sort of for a normal UPI payments. It is like the Swish transaction. They're going to put a lot of power behind the whole rollout by making it zero cost for the merchants. But the way you monetize then is sort of that you would charge sort of for a service instead. You and I, we both remember when mobile phone, you paid by the minute. We don't do that anymore. We pay per month. And I think that is what is happening with payments as well. I think the actual transaction will go very quickly to zero, but you would, as a merchant, you will have a monthly fee where you would pay for sort of the setup that you have at your premise to have a digital payment service. So we will monetize by a monthly fee. And then what you do also is that payments might be going to zero. That's almost like traffic, but you can put add-on services to that. This could be loyalty programs. This could be coupon services. This could be mobile ordering and prepayment. This could be personalized marketing, and there are things you can do, which also would probably come some sort of monthly fee. So you monetize that install base of all your merchant network. I think for the payment service, they do merchant acquisition. They get merchants that are running on their platform. They may not get paid for their actual transaction in terms of payment, but they are getting other fees. It could be for terminals, it could be for all these services I just mentioned. That is how you monetize in a market like that.
Okay. And in your approach to the Indian market, there are of course several. There are about a handful of big service providers providing mobile payments now. I assume, sorry, that you are talking to all of them, or at least the biggest ones. But do you approach them one by one, sort of taking turns, or do you talk to all of them in parallel?
We talk to them all in parallel.
And has any of them put forward the demand that they would be exclusive to your technology?
They haven't asked for that actually, and we wouldn't grant it anyway. But I think we wouldn't look at just having one. We would like to get them all. That's the plan. I hope that we will get them all, that our interaction solution that we have would be serving them all. And I think if we get one, because I think that operator that we get first, or that service provider we get first, I think they will see a big upside. I think they will have an easier time to onboard customers. They will have an easier time to onboard merchants. And I think the other one will hopefully come as well. So I'm actually hoping for some, the Swedish expression ketchup effect, that you get one and then you can take them other. So we are talking to them all in parallel. Yes, we are.
It's easy to see why it would give one player a competitive advantage to have your access to offline and semi-offline payments.
I think if you come with an offer to a merchant or even to an individual and say that if you pay with our network, use our sort of payment service, it always works. In the moment of payment, it always works. And I saw some data from India that 44% in a questionnaire answered, why do you use cash? And a lot of people were saying, well, we use cash because the digital service doesn't work quite often. So that's the main reason in a market like India that people are still on cash. But now I think, COVID-19, that there's a lot of talk. People don't want to touch cash right now. Exactly. The merchant doesn't want to touch it. The customers or the people don't want to touch it. So it's going to be a lot of drive right now for paying with your own mobile. So I think I can't wait to get people in India out of their quarantine and see. I think we will see a huge uptake. Not only for that the merchants is not paying anything for it. That is driven by the merchant. They love that. But if you can now imagine that people don't want to touch the main means of payment, which is cash. 80% is cash today in India, and people are a bit hesitant to touch it. Then these mobile solutions will I think it will go even quicker now to get that digitized, just like the government wants really in India.
And it's a noticeable push by the Indian government that they want to get out of cash and into a digital means of payment.
Yeah, and the reason for it is that they have introduced. We have a value-added tax in Sweden, moms in Sweden, 25%. But in India, they have something they call GST, government sales tax, I think. But it's on every single transaction. They don't get anything. If I pay moms, VAT, I sort of get something back if I receive moms. They don't do that in India.
Okay.
It is on every single transaction, and they want every single transaction to be traceable, because then that will create an enormous sort of kick into the Indian sort of reserve of money, really.
Yeah, I understand. Let me just take the opportunity to remind everyone who's listening that you can also ask questions. Look for the quotation bubble or pratbubbla on your screen, and you can write questions, and we can forward to Joachim. And India is huge, but it's also only the beginning. I mean, they have this famous UPI payment service that probably is going on export as well. And so, are you looking at other markets beyond India, or is India everything that you can cope with right
now? We've had a focus on Sweden, a very advanced market in Europe for digital payments, and India, fastest growing one. But we are interested in. We're actually going to have a workshop this afternoon where we are considering potentially a shift in our strategy to look for an entry partner in a market. We will find a payment service which is sort of self-contained, that they have an app for people, they have an app for the merchants, and if we can enter into a market by just getting that partner on board, we can have quite an opportunistic type of go-to-market strategy globally. So if we find one in Brazil, for instance, that has they have a payments app, they do have some sort of merchant app, so we can test the solution with that party. And if they think it's an interesting one, they would push it out to their merchant network. They would push it out just by an upgrade to all their individuals that is having that app. And that it would be a very, very fast way of actually going global in a way with this solution. Instead of actually we sitting and deciding from here that let's do Sweden and let's do India and let's do next time Germany, for instance. But if you do it that way, you sort of have to find both the personal side as well as the merchant side. But if we can find one party in a market, could be in the Philippines, could be in Brazil, it could be in any market, that is willing to take the benefits of our solution, that could be a much faster rollout for us. So we in the workshop we're going to have with a theme "Scale for the World," that is something we are discussing. So we certainly have plans beyond India, but right now we are running two country strategies. We have one country strategy for Sweden, and which is completely different markets. It's a card market here, a lot of card transaction, and then we have a strategy for India, which is sort of more of a cash society. But this plan I have, finding one partner in one market, could be anywhere, that is intrigued by the opportunity of getting the benefit of our solution. That would potentially give us a way to prioritize which market to go next, because we could start with them, we can see how it goes, and if that gets traction in that market, then we can decide, say for Brazil, let's do a country strategy to increase the number of payment points in that market.
Okay, I understand. And since you mentioned Sweden here, maybe we can talk a little bit about what's going on here. And as you said, it's the Blippet terminal is at the center of your strategy in Sweden. And you said in the report also that you have had obviously a bit of delays here as well due to COVID-19, and it's particularly unfortunate that Tixter is one of the first pilot customers, and they of course are in a very
they've been ready for a while.
But they're in a business that's very hard hit by
they do it. Yeah, exactly. They do events, and they have hockey arenas, they have Liseberg, and they have conference centers, and all of a sudden they don't have basically there's no events running. So they had I know from them that they had a lot of interest from their customers, but all of a sudden there were no events. So that sort of took them by surprise, and that again put some delay on our rollout as well. We will do a smaller test starting soon actually with Tixter. They are out in cafe and restaurants as well, and they are open. So we will. But that was the plan was to do it at say big hockey events and so on. But now we have to sort of be happy of at least getting it, tested it there, but that's obviously not the plan for Tixter, which has a focus on big events instead. They hope to get.
But I assume that your most lucrative market in Sweden is still in the big food store and general stores. And there you had a bit of delay when Clearon decided they need more time to develop the register. So how is that looking now? Are you?
Well, we're still talking to Clear, but their cash register is now. I think the latest is that it will come out sort of in August. So this is sort of again. I guess we pushed a little bit into a few more months. Still plans to go there, but we are talking to sort of other players as well that has cash registers that is focused on that market segment of large food stores. The Clearons, they have about 1,000. It's mostly for the convenience stores that they have their cash register. But yeah, I think we've in Sweden, because we had Swish. We had that I talked about before. If we can find one party that has a good footprint in the market, and we were lucky already in February last year. Swish said yes, we are keen to go into the physical payments, and they were keen to integrate with us. And now the strategy for Sweden is to find them these additional payment points in the market, and that's what we're doing, and that is done quite often via the cash registers, because if we integrate with them, then we can approach their entire install base with our solution.
And of course, an important part of your potential revenues in Sweden is from the coupon redemptions and coupon business. Is that dependent on having Clearance registers on, or if you say you have a different register provider that comes first to the market, to the postal market, can you run coupon redemptions on their registers?
We would Clearon. There's one thing that Clearon has. They have about say an install base of say about 1,000 cash registers. That's Clearon's Wave. This is their sort of this is their cash register that they have in the convenience stores. But they also have a solution that is called Clear Online. That is a software that is running in about 20,000 sort of stores in Sweden. All ICA, Coop, Axfood, Bergendahls, they all have the Clear Online in order for you to redeem the coupons in those cash registers. So that is already there. What we need in order to get the coupon business going in Sweden is that we need an app that will work as a container. Where do you need to have them digitize those coupons? So in this we are in dialogue with Swish, who have a fantastic app for payments, but we would love to see them to broaden that, not just to have payments, but actually use that install base that they have and in their app carry additional services than payments in their app. So, but there could be others as well if Swish is not willing. But Swish will be a fantastic choice if they would open up their app for not just having payment, but also to be able to carry coupons.
Right, but that means that they would also be a carrier of value. I mean, a coupon or a gift card for that matter. It's also a security. I mean, it's carrying value as well. And
yes,
Swish itself only transfers values, doesn't it? It doesn't store value.
No, but you can almost like you can have, you know how you have a cart, your shopping cart on e-commerce. You can have a shopping cart where you have those say gift cards, or you have those coupons, and then everything will be cleared by Clearon, and all the security, whether this is legit and valid, will be happening in the Clearon's backend, and that is accessed through those cash register, which has Clear Online on their cash registers. Okay. So they would just be carrying some sort of, I think, token for that you have some value.
Okay. Yeah. So it doesn't have to be a bank or be.
No. Swish doesn't have to become a bank in order to carry those. No.
Okay.
No. And no other app either doesn't have to become a bank to carry this.
Okay.
Yeah.
You also have a collaboration with EG Retail, which is mostly in fashion or clothing stores, correct?
Well, yeah. They have two cash registers, EG Retail. They have Facta. They have about 5,000 installations, and that's mostly fashion.
Okay.
They have big fashion. They have Brothers, and they have. You're in Norway. What is that? Something. Varner. Yeah, that's a big Norwegian chain. They have Varner. Yeah. So and they also a little bit, how many clothing chains has gone bankrupt during COVID-19. So it's not ideal either right now for us to push out our solution there either.
But how far is that gone? Is it still in pilot, or is it?
No. Well, no. That's in. They have. It's all working, and we are talking to them about sort of which of their customers will be most appropriate to sort of push it out. Yes, it's happening. But they've also acquired Norwegian Limbak. Limbak is a cash register company that is big. They have Coop. The Norwegian version of ICA is Coop in Norway. This is as big as ICA in Sweden. And Limbak, they deliver the cash register to Coop in Norway. Okay. They deliver it to Bergendahls in Sweden. So one of the four big ones, Bergendahls is sort of the top four FMCG players in Sweden, and Limbak, and they're, because they put our software or the link to us, they put it into their payment engine. That payment engine sits today with a Facta cash register, and they're going to put that into the Limbak cash register as well. So all of a sudden, we will get another 13,000 potential clients via the Limbak link. Because EG Retail acquired Limbak in the summer of 2019. Okay. So, but they haven't yet put their payment engine, which the plan is, into their cash register yet. Okay. But they will open up that segment.
Okay. Interesting. And you also announced a cooperation with Pay, and Pay in Swedish, so PEJ, where they will white label your app terminals.
Yep.
How far along is that? They will also, they must also suffer from less business but they're mostly in the restaurant.
Well, yeah, but just like us, I think if you look at COVID-19, I think it's a tremendous opportunity, because people wants to pay with their own mobile phone. I'm part of the board of Pay as well, as you may be aware, and because I'm one of the investors into Pay, and they are looking at a renaissance right now that it's a lot of big chains are coming to Pay and asking for a solution so they could sort of have mobile ordering within, on the app. And they are getting easier to sell right now. There is a delay because of COVID as well and things like that, but they're getting easier to sell. In some of these opportunities, they could be that they want a Blippit terminal, and Pay would like, in order to get their branding out, to white label that. So it doesn't say Blippit on the app terminal, it would say Pay instead. Okay. And we come up with a business plan for how that would be set up. So I'm very happy if Pay would get there, because what they're offering is what's called mobile ordering and prepayment. You order in the mobile and possibly even prepay, but you could blip in order when you collect the things. And that is so you need some interaction physically when you are physically collecting or even paying at the store, and this is where we would come in. And I think they saw us to their self-service kiosks. Self-service kiosk would be nice that they could just blip for the payment there as well. So it hasn't really moved much, I would say, but I think we have the agreement in place, and the opportunities there with Pay as well.
And I couldn't quite get the picture of the business model there. Are you just providing the hardware, or is there some sort of recurring?
No,
revenue?
well, the way we've done it is that if you think the Blipit model is essentially a they pay per month. If anyone order that for us, the same with pay. But if they want a white label solution, we've just asked for that. They have to upfront pay a certain fee.
Okay.
So because we don't want to carry their stock,
Okay.
So but they pay an upfront, which would we have agreed on, and we've been nice to them that will then there will be a credit for subsequent monthly fees as well.
Okay.
But they will sort of take in away one fee upfront if they order because they will all be labeled in their name. But that later on will be a credit for monthly fees that their customers are paying.
Okay. And how big is pay? I mean, how many payment points could it possibly amount to?
Well, they are getting into the market right now. They are also like us, a startup. But they are people will start hearing more about pay. They are getting out their solution in. They won. I think that's. I don't think that's confidential. But they won Sibylla.
Okay, yeah.
So Sibylla has just launched their mobile ordering app, but that's all. It's all powered by pay. So that's a complete white label for Sibylla. So pay has sort of done that, and they're looking into other opportunities as well beyond that. So they are coming out with their solution. It doesn't have to say pay. It doesn't have to be in their own brand.
Okay.
It could be a solution that they deliver to sort of a food chain sort of, and it's completely branded in their own name.
Okay. So I just want to remind our listeners once again that it's possible to write questions in the chat window, the one that looks like a heart bubbler. I noticed when you discussed the gesture business, which has sort of lost a bit of attention now that you are grown so big in mobile payments, but you said something quite interesting there, that it could have a renaissance now, that you could put gesture readers in, let's say, public boards or instructions. Is that something you're actively pursuing, or?
As we have engaged Business Sweden in India, and India being such a large market, and India also being a market where they have, I don't know how many languages and dialects they have, but I think it's if we include dialects, it's probably hundreds of different dialects. They have some people who can't read and write, so they are communicating in a lot of, say, public facilities that people are interacting with on touch screens, and you really don't want in a COVID situation to touch those public screens. So gesture control for this it makes a lot of sense. So we are investigating together with Business Sweden what are the segments, particularly in India, where there is enough volume to make this sort of a viable business. Would that be? So we are looking into it. So again, same reason why people want to, for our main business here of people want to use mobile phones to, you want to authorize and interact with your own mobile phone. Yep. Don't touch card terminals, don't touch cash. Same thing for, you don't want to, anything public, you don't want to touch. And I think that this is here to stay, I think. This is not going to go away because people would be very aware that some of these things could potentially be dangerous. So let's sort of, authorize things. I think a few years back, we were talking about the touchless generation. We had that as a tagline for Crunchfish. And I think we are now, with COVID coming into that, everybody, we're going to see the touchless generation coming very strongly because of that pandemic. Yeah,
and is it correct? My interpretation of what you wrote in the report is that you already have the technology ready out of the box.
No, we've had it for anyone. I don't know if people are aware, but we have anyone on a lot of people in Sweden have iPhones. If you go to App Store and you download GoCam, you will find a fantastic, nice app it's a free app that you can see how we can, with gestures, use it for taking pictures. That's our technology. But so that technology has been there for this is 4 years. So this is the same technology we would use for public touch screens, because the hand like this is very much this is like a mouse pointer, and you click like that. You can, and Yeah, so we're very strong on that type of technology, and we've had it for years. So this is not something with revenue in the future. With gesture control, the team is focused on for AR glasses, and the revenue will come when this becomes a consumer market, and I think everybody believes that will happen. AR glasses will be the new personal device that takes over from the mobile phone. That we won't walk like this. We will get up our head and we will have both our hands free. And when that happens, gesture control is so suitable for that mass market to happen. And we will be there then when that happens. But already now, when we talk about interaction with mobile phones and touch screens, we've had that for many, many years. So this is just taking our technology that we already have and seeing is there a viable market. And India is a good place to actually start looking, given the size of that market. They're 1.4 billion. It's sort of twice the population of Europe in one country. So that makes it the volume is there.
I think that's the end of the questions that I had on my list. I can't see that we have received any questions from the audience. So if anybody has a last-minute questions, if you're a fast typer, you can type it now. Otherwise, I think it's time to round off this meeting. I'll just let everybody know that this meeting has been recorded, and you can find a recording later on either Crunchfish homepage or on Västra Hamnen's homepage. So I can't see any last-minute questions, but I think we'll just round it off there. So
thanks for the opportunity.
Thank you.
Thank you.